You can read his work in The Athletic in town. David, Anthony Davis, a blockbuster trade, 10-time All-Star, future Hall of Famer coming to the Wizards. Your reaction to the deal?
As surprised as everybody else. Not that they made a deal, but that it was for Anthony Davis. They had made it clear early this season that you would know what their plans were by what they did at the trade deadline. If they sat pat at the trade deadline, that meant they had something in their back pocket in free agency this coming summer that they were excited about, and they were going to go all in on that. Whether that was signing Walker Kessler to a huge offer sheet or something else, or making a big trade, they would have something in their back pocket ready to go this summer. And if they made a big move before the deadline, that meant that they didn't really think they could get anything going this summer with the 65, 75, 80 million in practical cap room that they had. Well, we see what their decision was. I mean, they clearly have said they're all in on trying to make this team more competitive. Now, I thought once they got Trae Young, they were pretty much done, at least until the summer, when they could make another move, maybe when more teams had more picks to trade or more players they'd be willing to trade. But, they went quickly to AD, which was not the move that I thought. If they're going to make a move, it'll be for somebody like Jared Allen from Cleveland, who's a good player, who fits the timeline of the other young guys. He's been in playoff series. He's a very good defensive player. He doesn't make a ton of money, but he's a good player, right? And so you go, okay, well, that would make sense. Another big guy to come in and play with Sarr, okay. All that makes sense. This is a big swing. This is a big old, huge swing, not because of what they gave up, because when you really look at it, they didn't give up all that much in terms of draft picks. But just that they're taking a chance on AD being a contributing player. And again, this is all next season. I don't think he's going to play very much at all this season, if at all. But being able to be a player who stays on the floor long enough to help your young guys get better. And that is the puzzle and the conundrum that is Anthony Davis. And it has been for years. Nobody doubts the talent, but it doesn't matter if he never plays. And that's been his problem for much of the last 3 or 4 years. He just doesn't play very much.
David, Grant and I over the years got to know Mike Rizzo pretty well, and I know, it sounds funny referencing him now that he's no longer in charge of the Nets, but one of the things you always used to talk about with moves and trades, it's something he did very well, by the way, for a number of years, was I always look at what's the worst case scenario, what's the bottom this can be, and if that's still pretty good, it becomes a move that's maybe excites him a little bit more. Let's go through that. What's the worst case scenario here for this move? I argue that worst case isn't too bad.
Well, the worst case is he doesn't play a whole lot for the next year, and maybe you move him at this time next year, right? And he's got a player option for 27, 28 at about $62 million. That's you're going to be the team to do that. And the Wizards will take the next 6 months probably to figure that out. It's a tough call, but again, it depends on how many times you actually see him put the uniform on. I can't make a judgment about a guy that never plays. So until I see him play 40 games, 45 games, in a row, I can't really tell you they should keep him or they shouldn't keep him. That's the problem. It's hard to judge. But the worst case is that he doesn't play a whole lot, and they move him for more stuff next year at this time. And it's the same thing. Expiring contracts are the new currency. Technically, he would be on an expiring contract. You would work it out with his agent, obviously, if that's what you were going to do. And there was a particular team he wanted to go to and try to get some combination of picks or players that could help you down the road. But yeah, that's it. I mean, and the best case scenario is that he plays very well, and Trae Young plays very well, and this team makes the playoffs next year. While not giving up, and it's important to say this, they didn't give up any of their core guys.
Yeah,
right?
I wanted to get into that because for me, like they're trying to have their cake and eat it a little bit too. I think with you're going to be more competitive next year. I think that's important for the young guys. But what I care more about is the path they've been driving down, and it's not like they turned the car around today. I mean, you still have Trey Johnson and Alex Sarr in your starting lineup with Young and Davis. They're going to have, hopefully, a top 5 potential superstar that they're drafting this year who could be the best player of the whole group if it all works out. Coulibaly, Keshawn George, Bub Carrington. They traded 0 of those guys. The 5 picks they gave up, none of them were their own. The 2 first-rounders are kind of fake because one of them might be 30 and the other one is top 20 protected. So they gave up nothing. I guess my question or point would be, number one, like a comment on that, but then also bigger picture, do you feel like even if the Trae Young or Anthony Davis things don't work out that well, that they're on the floor, isn't there still a path with what they're building at the same time simultaneously that this ends really well if they get a top 5 pick and it hits?
It depends on the pick, Grant. It depends on who they get in the draft.
Yeah.
Like if it's 1 or 2 and you get a chance to take Patterson or DeManso, or even 3 or 4, if you get Boozer or Wilson, like you get one of those 4 guys, and there's a couple other guys after them. Kingston Fleming is a terrific player at Houston. He's a great size for a point guard. The kid at Illinois is playing his mind out right now. He's playing great. Yeah, so I mean, this is a really good draft. Like you're gonna have to really mess up not to get a good player out of this draft. But obviously, you want to have your pick of whoever you think the best of that group is, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what position it is. They are not in the place where they can draft by position. They have to take the best talent that's on the board that they see, whoever it is. And if you're one, you can take the best of all of them, right? So you have no 1 or 2. So that's what it's going to depend on. And if DeBanson, Peterson, or Boozer become what everybody seems to think they're going to be in the NBA, then this isn't that big a gamble because, again, they did not give up any of their core guys. If the draft pick becomes a star player, not a good player, not a role player, they've got all the role players. They got plenty of role players on their team now. They need a star player. And if the draft pick becomes a star, then they have a great chance to kind of do this quickly, and it doesn't really matter if they keep Trae Young or if they keep Anthony Davis. It'll help them, but it doesn't. You don't have to put in massive resources or overpay to keep them. But if they wind up picking 7th or 8th, or God forbid lose the pick, then it's a different story, I think.
Where does Young fit into this for you, DA? I mean, that to me is another sort of low downside kind of move where you can get out of the deal. He could be a trade piece, but it seems maybe they got some. I mean, the Trevor Schlink connection is there. Maybe they really like him. Where does he fit in?
Well, they do like him. Yeah. I mean, that's not fake. They really do think they bought him on the low side. That he has a chance to get back to where he was in 2021, where he got him to the conference finals. And, they almost got to the finals. They think he's going to be that guy again. We'll see. I'm not as convinced as they are, but, we'll see. Yeah. He is a dynamic offensive player. Dynamic. He is a terrific offensive player. I do worry about the defense. Because they have built their team. And Anthony Davis is a very good defensive player when he's healthy. So that's not, he helps a lot. I mean, if you watched, I was at the game last night, and Alex Sarr's having a terrific season. But if you watched Karl Anthony Towns just abuse him down low, just weight room him under the rim a couple of times, that was not pleasant to watch if you're a Wizards fan. So you need a guy that really knows how to defend like Anthony Davis does. Now you become really good defensively with him and Sarr, and maybe it's Coulibaly, maybe it's Keshawn George, whoever it is at the 3, maybe it's DeBansa. I don't great point guard. And a guy that can help not only Sarr get easy shots, but Trey Johnson and Keshawn George and the other guys that have shown that they can splash it pretty good from outside when they get their feet set.
DA, thank you, buddy. Awesome having you on. Pretty cool that a 10-time All-Star and a future Hall of Famer is coming to the Wiz. Got to be one of the biggest trades and one of the biggest acquisitions in team history. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
David
sir.
Aldridge, check him out in The Athletic.